Take two. Let's see if this time is going to work. Hopefully the sound cleared up after a complete and total reboot. Sorry, guys. This is a bit of a bummer when this happens. It takes me forever to get back up to posting the new link. The new link is now space command V, link, chunk, WC, WW, update. All right, so we should be getting everybody piled back in here in a minute, and we'll see if the sound got better. Go double check if this is going in the right location now. View page. Guys, give me a hint as to whether the sound is good or not, and then we will... Better. Okay, good. Okay, whew. All right, we're back in business. Yeah, so if you are finding this video as a recording, it's part of our JollyRogerUkulele.com's daily lessons, and daily, not lessons as much as just rocking out every day on ukulele. And sometimes the sound doesn't work properly, so I have to completely tear everything down and boot back up. It takes forever to do that, but we're back in business. So we only had Terry is in for Denver. Go Denver. Yeah, it always takes a bit of a to do when I end up having to reboot. But we're back in business. We'll give people a minute or two to log back in. A lot of them are still hanging out on the other page going, what the heck's going on? Where is he? So we give them a minute, and then some of them wander off, and they're like, I don't know what the heck's going on. And some of them figure out, oh, I don't think he's coming. And then they come back to the web page and find me. Let's see. All right, Valerie, sound is better now. yeah. It's always frustrating. I have no way to communicate to you guys that the first window, the sound is bad. I have no way to communicate that. So what I do is I go delete the link, and then I completely shut down the computer and completely bring it back up, and then that seems to solve the problem. But it takes about 5 minutes. In the meantime, you're wandering around going, what the heck is going on? So anyway, if this ever happens and you end up in a dead room, you're just like, it's probably in the process of rebooting, and that's what we're doing. So I'm noticing I'm looking like a maniac. How am I looking? Whatever. That is what it is. Let's see. Hey, Bert, you're in for the day. Diane, the sound is good, better. Hey, Jerry, I'm glad to be able to log back in. Thanks for being patient, Evelyn. It every time that happens, I don't know whether to rage and storm or rather to just be like, this is what it is. We're lucky to have this. It's unbelievable it works at all, let alone that occasionally we have a hiccup. But I think that's probably we're ukulele players, right? Om. That's not really how ukulele players are. This om. Native American flute players. Om. That's who they are. Ukulele players are more like, wah! That's how I am on the inside. Let's see. Hard to get in. The sound is better. Good. Sound is good. Back in. Sound is great. Yay! Today we are playing one of my favorites. Simple Gifts. Mine too. This is my favorite song. How about that? And this is Simple Gifts, #1 on my list. I don't know why. I just love it. Pauline in for more punishment. Elizabeth, it took 5 tries to get in through subscribe. Yeah, the previous live session, I had to eject. The sound was all goofed up, Elizabeth. So glad you made it back in. Judy, you're back in. Judy, I'm going to work on this password issue. I am a bit stumped as to what's going on. Is anybody else, just very briefly, in the last 24 hours who logged in through the member page on our site, is anybody running into any difficulties? Judy's having a heck of a time, and I can't decide. They're telling her it's on my end, and I'm looking at my end going, it looks fine. So if any of you have been having any trouble logging into that, let me know. Except for this thing right here, right? Logging into Jolly Roger. That's the question I have. Sandy, good, glad to have you back. Fran, I was in early when your sound was bad. It must be frustrating for you. Oh, luckily those are my frustrations, right? I have come to realize over the last 5, 6 years that it. I am really, really blessed, and so I if that's as bad as my life's going to get, then I'll take it for sure. Let's see, Leslie in, yeah, sounds better. Good. Boy, a whole bunch of you guys got in and got crummy sound. So, yeah, sorry for that. Hopefully, as they find out over there that the sound is terrible, they'll come back and come over here. So, all right, Karen says I'm better. Jacqueline looking good, sounding good, looking iffy, sounding like Kermit the Frog. That's what we expect. No problems logging in for me yesterday. Okay, Karen was able to get in. She's you remember login works fine. All right, Judy. So we got most everybody's working fine. So you and I are going to try to figure this out. Hopefully over the next day. We're going to find a solution. I don't know what to tell you. It's because it's interesting. We have people logging in on their phones and on computers, all of the different Linux, OS, Macintosh, and then Windows. Plus, they're using iPads, phones, regular computers. So it's interesting to me how when somebody says they're having a struggle, it's usually they're logging in from an operating system I don't use on a device I don't understand. And so, we're going to figure it out, Judy. We'll figure it out. All right, let's see. Lynn, I haven't tried logging in since you reset my password. Okay. Yeah, because that's generally been my approach when people tell me they're struggling getting logged in. I've usually just gone in and made sure they're using the right email address, made sure they're using the right handle, and then resetting the password. And that's, for the most part, been working pretty well. So it's kind of a bummer you're fighting it, Judy. Christine, sounds good. Finally able to chat. Yeah, I don't think it was me on the last round. I think, honestly, I've been bringing this computer up from dead, booted it up and the whole thing, and we haven't had any problems. So I don't think it was my fault this time. Let's see. Well, yeah, do double check that, Lynn. Okay, let's get going. Apologize for the late start. I'll talk fast. How about that? As if I don't talk fast all of the time. Let's talk slow. Let's just make the words matter. Simple Gifts. My favorite song. I don't know why. I just absolutely adore everything about it. And you will adore everything about it too, because I adore everything about it. And what we're going to talk about with this song, an old-fashioned tune from a Christian sect that died out and would have lost the song forever, except for Aaron Copland wandered through Appalachia and wrote his symphony called Appalachian Spring. And this is one of the themes in that piece of music. And then people decided, hey, I want to study that song a little bit. 2 chords, two of our favorite chords. And so let's make sure you're good with that. And newer players, very important that this chord is part of your vocabulary. When you see F, you don't think, your fingers are just already there. So memorize that bad boy. He's going to come up in your ukulele career once or twice. And then C chord is right here. And as I always talk about, not always, often talk about, it's less about what the chords are in the song. That's what ukulele players do. We're like, okay, what are the chords? Okay, C or F, B flat, C. Oh, there's a B flat. Turn the page, not playing that song. That's how we tend to think. What we really want to be thinking about is, this is my first chord, this is my second chord. How am I going to get back and forth between those two? This is the first shape I have to make. And then my second shape, my ring finger is going to go down, and these guys just come up. They can hang out up above there. They don't need to go anywhere. They don't need to tuck down here. They can just hang out. And then when it's time to go back, I lead my index finger first, middle finger as my ring finger's coming up. There. I now have trained my hand to do exactly what it's going to do through the whole tune, and that's good time well spent. Thinking not so much about what the chords are. We have this tendency as ukulele players to put a name on the chord and turn it into a thing, right? And really, that's not how we think as instrumentalists. It's this shape is going to this shape. Here's how we're going to get back and forth between those two. Really be thinking about that on more complicated songs, especially when we're talking about, hey, like today you have that several augmented chords. This chord. What the heck is that, right? And so we start thinking about, all right, this is a new shape for us. I don't care what the name of that shape is, but that shape's going to come up today. And so we start thinking in terms of shapes on the fretboard, and this will come up on Monday night. We're going to do the legendary, I've decided it's legendary. That's me calling it legendary, right? It's marketing. The legendary bar chord workshop. And on that, we're going to talk a whole lot less about what things are and a whole lot more about what shapes we're talking about. And especially in classical guitar, you'll see them playing these goofy, weird chords that don't even look like chords. Well, they don't care what the chord is. They care what the shape is, so they can get their hands on there. Now, probably if you're playing classical guitar, you probably got a good sense of what the chord is too. But we don't need to worry about that stuff. What we need to worry about is, hey, this is a shape. That's a shape. We're going to go back and forth between those two. Okay, so let's go through. You know what's about to happen. I'm about to sing. Let's see. Just tried the member login. Had no problems. Linda got in. Okay, Linda number 3 from California. Tomorrow's concert is going to be beautiful. Okay, Kat log in. Kat, you missed all of the excitement about the double login today. I tried the member portal on both iPad and Windows PC just now. Got error 503 service temporary on too many IP. All right, so there's that thing that Judy was talking about. So I'm going to copy that error notice, and I'm going to see. I'm concerned that I'm obviously on some type of shared something or other, and GoDaddy is somewhat legendary for knowing when people are actually using your website and then shutting it down because they can. So I'm going to call and make sure I don't need to level up in my payment or something. Okay. You know I'm about to sing. That means you're about to close your ears. Okay. I'm going to count in 3. First note. Kathy taught me this, and I think it's super helpful for those of you who hate singing. This is your first note. Just look at the melody line. It's 2 zeros. Dun dum. And then you want to match your voice to that sound. Tis da 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 da. And then if you get the first couple notes right, then the rest of it's all relative, and you're probably likely to be better at singing the rest of it. So that's of all of the help I've gotten on singing, which is I've been busily avoiding getting help on singing because I don't believe in it. But that is a piece of advice Kathy gave me a few weeks back, and man, that's really been a helpful. There's our no. We're going to count in 3, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 'Tis a gift to be simple. 'Tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we won't be ashamed. To turn and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Still ringing, still holding on to my chord, setting a good example. Okay, you should do the same thing. Okay, nice little tune. Got a oddly very Buddhist message from this very exclusive Christian sect that appeared in the mid 19th century, 1848, and Joe from the Shakers down the street. He wrote that, and the thing that I like about this piece is that it sounds beautiful. It works on ukulele. It's not too hard to sing. Those C's are a little bit high for me, but other than that, I can butcher my way through it. This is a song, and those of you guys that are teachers, those of you guys that are in ukulele clubs and ukulele groups, this is the piece you take. Just this one piece of paper. Just one piece of paper. You're going to take Friar Jacques, you're going to take Soft Kitty, you're going to take this piece, and you are set up to really help people get started in ukulele. We're going to talk a little bit about that on Monday night as well. As hey, our ensemble certification and challenge for the week is teach somebody how to play ukulele, and all this stuff is sitting around on the website on purpose so that you will steal it, go use that, and get some other people started correctly. And and hopefully that makes some sense to you. Okay, let's see. Hi, Phyllis. Whoa, you sounded great on that. What? I logged in after Carol got the air. No problem for the PC with Windows 7 and Chrome. Jerry, Windows 7. What are you doing? You're supposed to. Jerry's a high level technology person, and she's on Windows 7. So that tells you what those of us struggling through on Windows 10 are doing, right? We were beta testing it for her. All right, Melody. You got some ones, you got some threes. That's it. Okay. Use your index finger when it says one, use your ring finger when it says three. From the top, I'm going to count in three, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, 1, 1, 3, oh, 1, oh, 1, 3, 3, 1, oh, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, oh, 3, oh, 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 1, oh, 1, 3, oh, 3, oh, 1, 3, 3, 1, oh, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, oh, oh, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, oh, 2, 3, 3, oh, 1, oh, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, oh, oh, 1, 3, 1, oh, 3, 3, oh, 3, 2, 3, oh, 1, 1, 3, oh, 3, oh, 1, 3, 3, 1, oh, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, oh, oh, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1. Okay. Play that at a pretty fast clip. So if you're playing along with me and you're keeping up, that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign you've got melody handled. If you're struggling a little bit, go slow the thing down and try to keep the music the same, but just slow the overall song down and see what it takes to play through it carefully. And then third thing, of course, is if you're only crashing in one or two places, then go fix those one or two places, right? So you would just study those sections and you don't need to study the whole song. The other thing I do point out, when you get to measure 8 and you love and delight, you have 2 half notes in a row. And most tablature players, we will read that as 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, oh, 3, and we'll mess up the timing because we're so busy trying to get to the next note. Make sure, and I hear this often in private lessons, especially where, I'm sitting there and they're working their way through it and they're always rushing because they're pretty sure I'm going to hit them with a ruler. They're always rushing. And when you get to these places where you're supposed to give the note a full value, a half note, that's a long time when you're playing a song like this. Be really patient with yourself. Count it in your head. Don't tap your foot. That looks weird, but you can tap your toe inside your shoe. You're not wearing shoes right now because it's summertime, but I understand sandals are a thing. And you want to get, even if you're just kind of doing a little head bob or a little body shake or something, make sure you're giving yourself time to let those long notes develop, and don't rush as a tablature player. That's why I put the standard notation on there, so you know about how long those notes are supposed to last. And even if you know nothing about standard notation, you know the one with a hole in it is a lot longer than the other ones. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking as I'm playing through that. All right, a couple other thoughts over here. Phyllis is in. Lindy. I already read those. Okay. Jerry got a smiley face. He's like, yeah, you are beta testing for me. Let's see. Christy's in from Utah. Jerry's in from Capitol Hill, Congress Park, I think. And no shoes. Leslie has no shoes on. I've actually been wearing sandals. That's how bad life has gotten. That's how much I don't care anymore. All right. I have a pair of sandals that we bought years ago when I was up in Lake Stevens, Washington, and we were on the lake. And you have to, when you're on the, I don't know what I was doing on a lake, and so we got sandals, and so you get them wet, and so I have those same sandals. They got to be 15 years old. All right, let's play the tough uke. Okay, two skills that you're working on here. One is when you go down, and when you go down and you're not going to play that first string, your thumb is hanging out on that like it is resting on a hammock, and don't pretend to rest it. Really rest it. Don't do, or you're going to accidentally kick it and make it go up. Absolutely stop it there. That's going to sound good. The other skill on here is you've got your F chord and you need to hit this 3 sometimes. You can use your ring finger, which is what I used to do, and I used to miss it all the time because I tend to pull it back and it ends up on top of that bar. So I switched to my pinky, and I haven't missed it since. So I do tell you, if you're holding that F chord and you got to hit this 3, try your pinky, try your ring, and then whichever one gives you the greatest success percentage, the success ratio, that's the one you want to do. The only other thing on here is 003. Again, that nice rest stroke there, just where your finger hangs out on that. Okay. Let's play it. We're gonna play a little bit slower because the next song we're gonna play really slow, and I want you to get used to playing slow. Okay, so from the top, I'll count in 3, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. On to your last chord, let it ring till about there, and then accept the thunderous applause from your audience. Okay? Is that making sense? Hopefully that's going well for you. Hopefully that piece of tablature, that piece of tough uke, I usually follow that after Soft Kitty and My Spaghetti Monster. So I usually to use those two is getting people comfy, playing tough uke, and then I try to bring in simple gifts, just basically because the chord structure is relatively easy, and the skill set you should already have in place. You should have the rest stroke done. We talk about that in My Spaghetti Monster and in Three Blind Mice. And then the F with that pinky up there doesn't show up until this song. Well, it might show up in Soft Kitty. I can't remember. I think it might be in Soft Kitty. And it gives you that opportunity again to double check the F chord. Am I going to use my pinky or my ring finger when there's a 3 on the top? And just know you guys are getting comfy with this. Hopefully you're getting that these chords are named F, right? But then you find out that there's Fs all over the place. You got the one up on 5 with your pinky on 8, and you got this regular F chord and one with your pinky on it. They're all F chords, and so sometimes we would love to have those named differently because they look so different and they actually end up sounding a little different. They're all the same, right? And it's the more we get used to the fact that we've got lots of F chords, lots of C chords, lots of all of these chords on your instrument, the more we get comfy with the idea that we're going to be using them to our advantage as instrumentalists when the melody starts getting into some crazy areas up here, that we can use those chords to our advantage, and it'll keep us in the area where we're working, and then we might come back down if things change. So, 5558. Oh, no, Renee's like, where's your file? There it is, Renee. Sorry, she's on top of it. Like you didn't do your F chord. I'll bet you she did it, and that's what's exciting, right? Let's see. Thanks, Renee. Alan, welcome in. Lynn, I was practicing my got lost, find my place again skill. Oh yeah, get lost, find your place again skill. If you play by yourself in your basement for your entire career, you do not need to have the get lost, find your place again skill, and that's why we don't do that. That's I spent my first 7-ish years on ukulele in my basement and didn't play with other people because I'm coming from a piano background, right? You don't play with other people on piano typically. And that's why piano teachers will often have you play duets so that you do get a chance to play with other people. And so I'm coming from that background and I'm playing ukulele and I'm understanding it and doing all this stuff. And then when I started playing with duets with my friend Debbie, my timing was a disaster. It was all over the place because I thought I was just playing. I thought I was playing in time, and I wasn't. And so this is why we get together. This is why you go to your ukulele strum along. This is why you go get a couple of friends. I know you're a ukulele player. Making friends is hard, but you can do it, and have them play with you. You know, somebody plays chords, you play melody, and you will find out how fast and how much better your skill set improves. Now, I'm preaching to the choir, right? You guys are showing up here and playing along with me. I'm your duet partner in this situation. However, you're choosing to play it, you're getting a sense of, can I keep up? What happens when I don't keep up, which is a more important skill. That's the most important, except for where to put your thumb. That's the most important skill that we have to learn as musicians is blah 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 blah. Oh crud! I just had a brain meltdown. I don't know. Oh, he looks like he's coming up a major 11. I'm gonna get there. Measure 11. Da 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 da. And so that skill, I think, is by far the most valuable one that you get from playing with other people. I think it's the most essential in terms of sounding good and sounding like you're actually, in terms of making progress. And I say this all the time, and it's absolutely true. I conduct an orchestra with 100 members, and 20, 25 of them are better players than me, probably. I tell them that. I don't know if that's true or not. But if I had to come off the podium and go sit down there, I would be struggling as well, because playing at those speeds and playing with other people, it just takes us some practice. You got to do it a little while, and suddenly you're able to do it. We have people come in the first semester that can't hardly do it at all. Second semester, they're doing pretty well. Third semester, they're teaching other people how to do it, right? And so try as much as possible when you're thinking about your future in ukulele to include getting out of your basement and playing with some other people. I do think it's important, even if it's just taking a private lesson with somebody and playing along with with whatever they want to teach you. I do think playing together is important, and it's a challenge in the Zoom era right now because Zoom does not work for playing instrumental stuff as duets. There's too much of a time lag, and I just so just know that it doesn't necessarily work. All right. Okay, so that's Simple Gifts. My favorite song. I think it's great. You should memorize it. I don't have it memorized, but you should. Okay, next song. Let's go to what's it called? Summertime. Whoops. Summertime. Summertime. All right. Now, I was talking with Cheryl earlier today, and she played me 3 or 4 songs. Really nice job. Really beautiful music that she's creating. But every one was 20% faster than I wanted her to play it. So in the spirit of celebrating Cheryl's success and encouraging Cheryl to slow down, we're going to play Summertime slow. And I want you, as a performer and as a student and as a up and coming greatest ukulele player in the history of humanity, to give yourself permission to play slow. It is one of those things that I talk about all the time, and it just never seems to really sink in. We always seem to want to play the song as fast as whatever the recording is that's in our head. And I don't think that helps you out necessarily. I think I know you're going to do much better by playing a little bit slower, really analyzing moments in this song, figuring out what you're going to do at that moment, and then successfully executing that. Once you can play the song slow all the way through, and it sounds like the song, then you can start bringing your speed up. And 2 things will happen. One, it'll either come right up and you'll be awesome, or you're going to find out you made some weird fingering choices and you start crashing in certain areas on that song, and that in itself will minimize the amount of time you have to spend practicing. For the most part, I think we waste about 80% of the time we are spend practicing, and I can tell you, if you practice slow and then speed it up and look for those places where you're struggling and then work just on those areas. Maybe you got to rethink your fingering choices. Maybe you have to drop part of the chord. And I will tell you on this one, as I was playing through it today prior to posting it, I dropped a few notes because they were causing me a whole lot of angst, and I wasn't getting any bang for my buck there. So I got rid of those notes. Plays great. Okay, so don't, that's not unmusical, right? To simplify a piece, we're not simplifying it. We are creating a scenario in which you, at whatever current level you're at, you can play it. Okay, and so I want you, as you approach summertime, which can be played, I got it listed at 120. You can easily play this at 60. It's going to sound great no matter what you do. A couple things about the song itself. It's from the musical Porgy and Bess, which is a very complex history. It's generally thought of as a fairly not cool type of musical to put on anymore. But at the time when Gershwin put this out, it was rather progressive. And so through the lens of history, we're like, no, we're not going to do that musical anymore. But at the time, this was groundbreaking stuff. And in studying the chord structure of this is brilliant. This is really a smart guy working on this. George Gershwin was okay. He knew a little bit about writing music, of Rhapsody in Blue fame. And you really looking at this song is good, right? So even though it's got a complicated history, let's presume, let's just face it with the music in mind. Okay, all right. I'm not about to sing this, but I am about to tell you some cool things that go on there. So you've got your E minor chord, so make sure you're comfy with that one. That's this one. And then B minor is going to be back here. Okay, now you can rotate your hand around and play it that way. Okay. What I am finding often is my fingers are just scooching back to get get into that third fret. It's a very weird moment, and it happens over and over and over in this song. So be thinking about, is it going to make more sense for me just to slide my ring finger back, or do I want to adjust all of this? I have been finding that neither is exactly a great solution. So hopefully you'll find which is most comfy for you. The problem is we also then have G chords that show up after this, which would then involve playing it Brandon style, right, upside down, or completely refiguring your hand, which is what I've been doing. But there's maybe one of those weird opportunities to play the chord upside down. Here, whoops. E minor, B augmented, G chord upside down. You'll try different scenarios when we get to the tough uke, but I pretty much stay vanilla on this stuff because it just seems like it works out better. But who knows? We'll find out. In any event, B augmented. That's what that plus sign sounds. And doesn't that sound weird? Okay, that's a weird chord. All your augmented chords are going to sound like that. Like, what? And that's what augmented chords do. They just are very odd. And they actually, the ukulele, the way the strings are laid out, it has a tendency to really emphasize or overplay that weirdness of them. On a piano, you can they kind of get mushed out a little bit, but on ukulele, it's in your face. Bum. Okay, then you go to G, B augmented again, and there's a measure of 5. You've got just plain old lovely regular A minor, okay, which is followed by that E7. Now here's what's weird. Here's your E7. You're going to drop this. Your middle finger is here, so you're going to add your index finger and then put your ring finger down here on 3. So it looks like this. Okay, that's what you're going to be doing. This chord has lots of other names, but in this case, it's an E augmented. Again, got that weird sound up here. The challenge is in this song, we're not actually going to play this note, okay? And that's not the augmented part of it anyway, but it is it? No, it is the augmented note. So it sounds really weird on ukulele, but we're not going to end up not playing it. We're going to end up playing that, which is just as weird because this C uh, G sharp doesn't want to play fit with the other string sound. So it's still going to sound weird, just not as weird as it could. A minor seventh in measure 6. That's our favorite chord. You're going to be playing B's in this piece, and they come up quite often, but you're not going to need to play them B flat style. Okay, so it's a B flat, right? That's a B flat, and but in this song we're going to play B's, and so instead of putting it on the first fret, second fret, A shape in front, you got your B's. Okay, but in this song, and when you get to the tuck uke, you're not going to have to play that chord. You're going to be playing just deet deet deet. Okay, index, middle, ring, and you're going to be just playing that part, and which is basically the same. Your E minor shape up here. Okay, and the reason you don't going to need to play the full bar is because the melody changes on this top string in such a way that you're never going to need to do that. Okay, C chord at measure 7. You have a B7. This one you are going to probably bar. You're going to put a bar on 2 and your ring finger, middle finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd string. Okay. And notice, you go back, there's B flat 7, A7. So you're just playing an A7, but you're playing it up on 2. Okay. Let me see what other chords that I need to chat about. That may be it. I think that's it. Yeah, that's good enough. That's the chords that we got. All right. So I'm not going to sing it, but you can sing it at home, right? Summertime and the living is easy, right? So the slower you do that, the better it's going to sound. Just it's summertime, right? So slow. Just let yourself feel this natural, slow beat. Promise you, the slower you play it, it's better. Lindy, in the tab, we're missing the first string, 2nd fret, measure 5 and 6 for that E sharp. Measures 5 and 6. Measures 5 and 6. Let me make sure I'm understanding Lindy's point. In the tab, we're missing the first string, 2nd fret on the measures on measure 5 and 6 for that E sharp, E augmented. The reason we're missing the 3 on the first string is because the melody is the 0. So you lose the 3 and the melody's a 0. I hope that I am answering your question, Lindy. The reason the chord shape is this, but because the melody's in charge, we don't play this. We have to just play this. Okay, I hope I'm answering your question or your thought, Lindy. Brandon, sorry I'm late. I was looking forward to summertime too. All right. Well, we've already been making fun of you, Brandon, so I'm glad you finally made it here. All right. Let's go ahead and just play through it just a little bit and see if we can figure out most of this. I guess I'm going to try to sing a little bit. It's going to be bad. So grab your E minor. Our first note. That's way high. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Summertime. B odd G chord. And the living is easy. B augmented. A minor. Catfish are jumping. And the cotton is high. C chord, B chord, B7. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. And then we go on to page 2. Okay, so you can see the lazier you are at singing it, the lazier you are at getting those chords in, you'll be fine. Um, and then the second verse even the words change, but it was basically an identical repeat of the first verse. And I think that's all I got to tell you about. I did put in at measures 29 a crescendo, which starts at from 29, the middle of 29. Crescendo means get it louder. It'll sound better with daddy and mammy. Try to get that up a little bit louder when you get there, and then bring it back down. Standing by your side, right? So we want to put a little energy in there at 20, measure 30 to get that up and high and powerful, and then drop it down. I don't usually put in a ton of articulations and that type of stuff into my music arrangements because I want you to figure that out. I want you to decide what you like to play. But that's a great place to get a little bit extra energy in it. Let's see. Sorry, I was late looking for. Greg's here. Okay, Greg, good to see you. Yeah, it just sounded strange to me. Yeah, the whole thing sounds strange. All right, so let's play the melody. Make sure we know how the song goes. We'll just play it one top to bottom, one time through. Okay, and then I do want to spend some time on the tough uke here. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, oh, oh, 3, oh, 3, oh, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 4, 1. Oh, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, rest, 2, rest, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 5, 7, 10, 2, 2, oh, 3. Whoops, turn the page. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, oh, 3, oh, 4, 1. 3, oh, 3, oh, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 2, 2. Oh, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 5, 2, 5, 7, 10, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Start again. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. You can tell how patient you have to be with yourself. We don't usually play music like this, right? We usually are pushing our way through it. We're making sure there's something going on all of the time. And so if you play with a friend, they get the chords, you get the melody. Your job is super important to make sure you don't rush and really be listening to the chord player, bump, 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 because they've got their work cut out for them in terms of getting everything correct. And just be really, really patient. When we get to tough uke, where we combine those two things, again, you're just going to be very patient and let yourself get all of the weirdness and all of those crazy tones out of this song, because it's going to work. It really is. It's going to be beautiful. All right. Brandon asks, is there a difference between the dot and the tie notes when I play them in measure 9 and 10, for example? So let's go to measure 9 and 10. Measure 9, you got a dot and then you've got a tie. Okay, so the question is, how do I approach those? What am I really doing with those? What you're really working on here is the way we have sort of conventions in sheet music, and we like for there to be a note on one whatever beat number one is, we want a note there or a rest, right? We want something very clean there. And then when the song is in four, we also like to know where beat number three is. And so in this case, Dad, your daddy's rich. Okay, your daddy. Okay, that's fast because that's the eighth note. So da goes through fast, and then D's is going to take a beat and a half. Okay, now if you add those two together, they equal two beats. Okay, and that's why then there's another note at beat three, which in this case is a half note and ties over into the next measure. So from a melody perspective, you're going to play two, two, two. So two, two, two. There's a little bit of it feels a little bit longer than it's supposed to. And then that next two that's tied, very long. A lot of times when I'm doing arrangements and I see there's a tie on over a measure, I look to see if it's really necessary. Most of the time it's not, but in this case it is. Your daddy's rich. One. And your mama's good looking. Ties over. Three. So you can see on the paper pretty clearly where beat one and beat three is in every single measure. Now, sometimes I goof it up, but mostly I get it right. Okay. You want to know where beat number one is and beat number three is. It just helps you as a musician be able to visualize how the beats in the music work. And so that's what's going on there. Not entirely sure I'm answering your question, Brandon, but at least gives you a sense of, yeah, those things are playing differently based on where they are in the measure and why you would put one type of notation versus another. And it's also pretty normal to have a dotted quarter note someplace and then a regular quarter note tied to an eighth note. Those are played exactly the same, but it just depends on where they are within the beats in the measure, why you would use one over the other. Okay, so maybe that's helpful, maybe not. Carol asks, yes, Karen, playing that low B sounds cool. Yeah, go grab yourself a low G ukulele and play this. This sounds pretty nice. Lynn, what's the carat in 31? Go to measure 31. I put this one here on purpose. Okay, measure 31. When we get there, this is the shape you're going to play. 2 and 2 3s. That's the real sound in the song, right? That doesn't make any sense. Whenever this is a little musical hint that we don't tell people, so don't let anybody know I told you this. When you have a weird, wonky, totally crazy, like nonsensical sound that you have to make, play it louder and with gusto, like you really mean it, because then people will not think you're making a mistake. They're like, oh, that sounds weird, but he really meant to do that. Okay. And so when I put a carat there all morning long, I kept getting to that spot going, that sounds wrong. And that can't be the thing. That's the thing. So play it with a little bit of extra oomph. All right. By your side, by your side. That's what I'm looking for there. Okay. Everyone needs a high G and a low G uke in my warped opinion. Of course, I have dozens of instruments. I've gotten carried away. Don't be less like Greg. Okay. Be less like Greg. You need 2 ukuleles. Well, 3. You need a really good high G, a really good low G, and a baritone. Okay, those are the 3 you have. You got to have those. Okay, and honestly, guys, I had. This is, those are technically mine, but not really, right? They're for you guys to come and pick up. But in my closet at home, I have 2 sopranos, I have 1 concert, I have 2 tenors, and I have like 4 baritones. I don't know why I have so many baritones. I got them for a good deal. They're sentimental, right? But I don't have a ton of ukuleles, and honestly, a bunch of those I could get rid of, right? I got them a good deal or whatever. But I don't own a ton of ukuleles, and I want to get good at the ones I have. So don't run around buying every $75 ukulele you can get your hands on. Just buy one good one that's a high G, one good one that's a low G, and get a baritone, and I think you'll be set for life. And Brad, I don't know if we are going to have a standard notation night in Summer Institute this year. So just know we'll be talking more about standard notation. It is kind of confusing. I am playing on my low G and its sound is beautiful. Yay. And 2 or 3 guitar leles. Riquito. Yeah, Greg's got ukulele acquisition syndrome pretty bad. And a banjolele. Oh yeah, you need a banjolele. K. All right. All right. Don't buy a banjolele. I'll make fun of you. All right, let's play. We play the melody. We've learned about the chords. Now let's walk ourselves all the way through the whole piece of music, tough uke, and then we'll play it. Okay. So first thing, I'm grabbing an E minor chord because that's what we always start with. Okay. And we're gonna go 2, 3, and then a nice E minor chord, and then you're gonna do this weird B augmented, and then to G chord, O3. You got to, the melody note's still on one, a 0 on the first string, so you're just going to grab 2 3s. Now grab your 2. You're already holding your 3 down, and then 0 4 0. Now this is the challenge with high G ukulele. If that sounds a tiny bit wonky, that 0 4 0. If you are on low G, that sounds great, right? But it's just because you've got this high note followed by the low note followed by a high note. It kind of sounds a little weird. I've gotten comfy with it over the years, but it's not ideal. And then you got a B augmented, G chord, back to D, B augmented, okay, and then A minor, O, and you're gonna just go grab this one and just have faith that it's gonna be fine. 3, O, back to that same shape, and then 3, O, 0 0 3. O's 3, and then go grab your B, but you just need the top 3 strings, and then go grab a C. This sounds cool, and then back to your B, and then I have been playing this as a G on the wrong strings. That B7, you can put a full bar on it. Either one of those, okay. Well, it'll be the same sound. It's just whichever. It just looks like a G chord on the wrong strings, right? Hit the 3, and you're going to have to drop your, I consistently miss this one, you're going to have to drop whatever finger you're using here down one string to get the melody note, and then back to the same idea. Grab your E minor, hit the 2, B augmented, G chord, O3, 2 3s, 2, 0 4 0, B augmented, G chord, A chord. What's important, that A chord, that's the first time you've seen it. It's weird. It doesn't seem to belong there, but it changes the whole, at that moment, we're going into a new part of the song. Okay. And then now, and okay, you got your G chord, pinky up on 5, hush, lose your 5, and then go grab 3 7s and leave this top string alone. Don't touch it. Okay, and I was playing it with this. Okay, either one of those. If you're a purist and you have to do this exactly 1000% right, you can put a bar on here and add your ring finger onto 9. Okay, and you get an actual E minor. This feels like a high possibility for an error. I don't think it adds that much to the chord. Frankly, all it does is clean it up, and I'm not positive I want it cleaned up there. So hush, little baby. I'm not sure I want a nice clean E minor there. I want just this partial E minor. It can be lots of different things when you play it that way. Now hit your 10. B, and then go jump down here, 2 0 0 2. Don't B7 make you cry. O 4 0. Okay, and then A minor, E minor, B dum dum. Those are just in there for decorative. I added in that measure in the original version. Those 2 measures are one measure, and it just feels really chaotic and complicated there. And so I just added an extra measure to clean it up, make it a little easier to play. So you're just going to go from D, 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 and then a D7. Okay. That gives you a nice transitional moment, like we talked about when we did jazz, right? Remember, every time you did a turnaround, there were all these weirdo chords in there. You're trying to figure out what the heck they're doing. Let's create this turnaround, so then we go back into the song. Okay, so measure 17. And then let that ride a minute, and then we're going to go back to music. 2 2 3 2, E minor, B augmented, G, O2 O3, 0 3 3 0, and then 040, B augmented, G, whoops, B augmented, hit the 3, you'll spread your wings, A minor, 3-0, and you'll take to the B chord, just the top 3 strings, sky, B7 or B augmented, 2, 3, E minor on measure, what are we on, 26? 2, B augmented, G chord, O3, 2, 3, 040, B augmented, G chord, and then here's that A again, and then 2, grab your G chord, pinky on 5, 7, 10, get that clean, really focus in, if you can get those 7s and 10 on here, okay, that's going to be a great moment for you. Maybe make it a little bit longer than you're supposed to, and then go to Standing by My Side. Hit this one hard, 2, 3, 3, and 040. Another A minor, E minor, B7, and then you're going to play the whole song a second time through. The last time you come through at measure 32, you end on A minor, skip 33, and then you've got an E minor, a B7, and then an E minor. Okay, so again, with these chords, they sound creepy and weird when you play it super slow, and that's what you want. Okay, because the song is kind of sad. He's like, your mother's rich, your dad's good looking, or vice versa, whatever, and everything's going to be fine for you until you get ready to leave the nest, and then we don't know. We're not sure what's going to be happening. So at least until the morning, you're safe. You're good. Everything's fine. You're good. It's basically an anthem for all millennials. How many millennials we got listening in? Hopefully none. Probably none. They're at work. They gotta pay those student loans back, right? So it's a song meant to be played slow, to get all those weird tones out, to not be in a hurry. And so we're gonna play now really quick. We're gonna play the whole song, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. Bunch of banjo-lele nonsense going on over here. Very late joining today. Joyce, glad you're here. It's a beautiful piece. Love the arrangement. All right, I'll have to watch the replay. Yeah, those of you got to sneak out. I got you. All right, let's go. Let's play through it one time. If you got time, if you got to go, you got to go. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry, I ran late. Here, let's play Summertime, top to bottom. 1, 2, 3. Measure 7, measure 8. Sorry. Here's the A. And go. Second ending. Maybe that one you might put the full 9 on. Nah, doesn't help. You can also play a regular E minor. Whichever. This sounds cooler, but this sounds more like an ending. So pick one of those. You decide. This piece also works with full straight-on plucking all the way through. I arranged it first plucking, and then I went through and made sure it worked strumming. So either of those, but maybe play it one way the first time and the other way the second time. Sorry I ran over today, guys, partly just logging in late and the whole thing. So mess around with this. Tomorrow, concert, right? We got 8 songs tomorrow. It's going to be fabulous. We have nothing but great music on tomorrow's agenda. All through the night, Home on the Range, Key of G Arpeggio, and Simple Gifts. First-rate intro-level type songs, and then give my regards to Broadway, Yankee Doodle Boy, All I Ask of You in Summertime. We got plenty to keep you busy no matter what level you're playing at. And so tonight, spend a little bit of time getting your book together, making sure you know what's in there. Mark those parts that are going to be a bummer for you. Put some yellow on them or something. And then before you come in tomorrow, take 5 minutes, warm up, play through everything, make sure you're ready to rock and roll. Take probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then I will see you for the concert tomorrow, and we will rock hard, and we will be awesome. So and don't believe these banjo people over here. They're trying to trick you into something that's evil. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Sorry for keeping you late, and let's get everybody out of here. Joyce was, yeah, she'll have to watch the recording. Let's see, great arrangements and fun. Nice. Must be weird. I find the tough uke easier than strumming the chords. Often, guys, the tough uke, especially once you get tough uke, often it's way easier than just doing the chords. It's because, you can take, with tough uke, you can get rid of some of the stuff that's too hard to do. You just play melody through that section or something. And so, yeah. Carol says it's beautiful, and Carol knows beauty. So it is a beautiful arrangement. It is actually a really nice arrangement. Valerie, have a wonderful day. Renee, yay, one more. I know, we're going to talk tomorrow about how many arrangements you have. I think we're up to almost 90 of them now. It's too many. Lynn, have a great day. Leslie, good to see you. Have a great day. Pauline, good. Glad you're here. Elizabeth, see you in a bit. Beautiful. Enjoy your evening too, Phyllis. Thank you. Greg, I have no band. Greg has no banjo. Greg, what are you doing? Get started, man. We gotta get you to buy one of those. They're absolutely useless. No, they're very important. Let's see. Jerry, have a wonderful day. Jerry, I'm working on your banjo right at the moment. It's going to be metal strings. You're going to need to toughen up. Brandon, good to see you. Want to be able to play it. I'm going to work hard on this one. Yeah, that's a good one, right? Plus, you can sound as weird and complicated as you want to with this one. That's what I love about it. I really like the song. Kat, thank you. I had fun. As usual, on this one. Yesterday's is an earworm, isn't it? Kat, you're from Texarkana. You should be a banjo and summertime aficionado, right? I don't think they sell shoes down there, so you should be ready for that. Joyce, I'll see you tomorrow. I like to pick on Kat just a little bit. Fran, have a good day. Thank you for being here. Jacqueline, love all these songs. We have so many good songs. It's ridiculous, right? Lindy, uh, Greg, get a banjo. You just broke Lindy's heart. I did. Oh, you bought an accordion. Oh, geez. I've always wanted an accordion. I'm going to try one of these days. Um, yeah, I've never gotten to even hold one, so I got to do that. All right, kids. Ending the stream. Be good. Play. Stay inside. It's raining here a little bit today, so even more reason to stay in. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.